this video, I'm going to demonstrate an example of differential analysis. We have here a company that operates 6 retail outlets, and this is the financial information for one of those retail outlets, which is the Cornwall Street store. The CFO has brought us in to provide a recommendation on whether or not that store should be closed because on the surface it's showing a net loss of $122,250. The problem is we're combining costs that are relevant, or what we call differential, meaning they differ depending upon what decision we make, and currently it's do we keep operating it versus do we close the store, versus irrelevant or not differential, meaning it doesn't matter whether or not we close the store or we keep it open, it's going to be the same. On here to the right, I'm going to focus on what is going to differ between the decision of keeping the store and getting rid of it. Well, we don't have the store anymore, the revenue doesn't exist, so sales revenue is going to be differential. Let's think about cost of goods sold. If we don't have the store, we're not selling those particular goods, so cost of goods sold would go away if we got rid of the store. So cost of goods sold would be a differential cost of $5,289,000. Let's look at the remainder costs one by one. Advertising is going to be differential. It apparently is specific to this particular store. If it doesn't exist, we don't need to advertise for that particular store. So that $1,421,000 is going to be differential. Store administrative salaries. If we don't have that store, sorry administrators, but we can get rid of them. So the $975,000 of store administrators salaries is relevant. Also the $1,056,000 of sales commission is relevant. If we're not selling those goods, we're not paying our salespeople sales commissions. The $2,100,000 of leases and utilities. If we don't have the store, we're not paying the lease on it, and we're not paying the utilities related to it. So that's all differential. Now, we had a trend of listing everything differential or everything relevant, and then we stopped at allocated corporate support. It was $1,622,000. We've shown none of that as differential. Allocated. It's a common fixed cost. Basically, we're taking the cost of the corporate office or corporate support, things like the CEO and things like that, and we're just haphazardly allocating it to the different stores. Guess what? You close this one store, those costs aren't going to change in total. They're just going to get reallocated to the other stores. So it's not going to change. It's not differential. It's not relevant. Adding up the other 5 costs that are relevant or differential, they add up to $10,841,000. Subtract that from the sales revenue that's relevant of $12,300,000, and we have a gain from continuing operating the store before we factor in income tax of $1,459,000. We also have to consider that we have to pay taxes. So if we take 25% of that $1,459,000, that tax is differential of $364,750. If I don't have the store, I don't have to pay the taxes. Subtracting that tax amount from the before income tax is $1,459,000, gets us to an overall gain from continuing to operate the store after taxes of $1,094,250. So if we got in looking at B, it asked what's the effect on SAG's income at the Cornwall Street store is closed, and make sure we're looking at the right perspective. The store benefits us after tax by $1,094,250. If we get rid of the store, we're actually going to lose profit for the company overall of $1,094,250, meaning we would not recommend closing the store.